we're joined on the set by Gadi Tirosh, the managing partner at Jerusalem Venture Partners. It is a venture capital fund which specializes in backing startups which focus on digital media, software, and cybersecurity. Thank you so much for being with us.
Good afternoon. Thanks for having me.
Good afternoon. Well, tell us a bit about the concept behind the labs that you guys have.
Very well. So one of the things that we found in Israel is that there are a lot of talent that needs funding at a very early stage. We call that seed funding. It's like growing a new plant. And what we did to accommodate that need, we established two incubators, one in Jerusalem that is focused on digital media, and the other one is something that we opened just a year and a half ago in the city of Be'er Sheva that is focused on creating new companies in the cyber sector.
Well, this is part of the new trend. A number of companies are actually transitioning away from Tel Aviv to Be'er Sheva. What is the motivation behind that?
So there is something very unique going on in Be'er Sheva, and those of you who haven't been to Be'er Sheva lately, I suggest that you come over and visit. What you have there is a very unique ecosystem. So first of all, you have the Ben Gurion University. It's the fastest growing university right now in Israel, which has a dedicated cyber faculty. Okay, so that's one element. The other element is the move of the technology units of the Israeli military to a campus that is based just next to the Ben Gurion University. And in the middle of all that, we've put the high-tech park, which has people like Oracle, IBM, Lockheed Martin, and many others. And in the center of all that, we have the JVP Cyber Labs that creates all these new cyber companies in this compound.
So they actually chose to be in a desert here.
Okay, so they choose to be next to this very interesting complex. They choose to get funding from JVP that is well known in creating companies in the cyber arena. And listen, it was a tough decision for us to go and open up a new center in Be'er Sheva. But after we went there and we saw the momentum and we saw the potential, we decided to open up our next venture in Be'er Sheva, and it's proven to be very successful. Since the beginning of 2014, we invested in 6 companies. We already had our first significant exit. We sold a company called SciActive to PayPal. And PayPal decided to open up the Cyber Design Center in Be'er Sheva around this company. So it's a great success for the city of Be'er Sheva and for us.
Indeed. Well, you mentioned the successful exit, but you do have a number of other successful ones, 26, I believe. Yeah. What do you attribute that to?
So JVP was established by Erel Margalit more than 20 years ago, and since then we were responsible for some of the largest exits out of Israel. I guess the main thing that works for us is really to go and push in creating very significant companies. You know that there is always some criticism about Israeli investors that sell their companies too early. We try to avoid that and to grow the company to their maximum potential.
Indeed. Well, let's go back to the startup nation in Israel here locally. Do you think there's going to be a point where Israel will mature into a tech nation, where we're going to see the Israeli Google, the Israeli Microsoft taking shape here?
So I think one should recognize that there are a few phenomena that are going on. First of all, almost more than any other country around the world, there are more multinationals that are coming in, acquiring companies and creating very significant design centers in Israel. Okay, that's true for companies like EMC and Cisco. It's also true for Apple that open up their only design center outside of the US in Israel. So that contributes a lot to local employment. Beyond that, we see a growing trend of companies that goes beyond just being a small startup and becoming very established. My previous company, NDS, was sold to Cisco for $5 billion after we had 1,200 people in Jerusalem. And the latest exits that we led, CyberArk, is a company that we took public in September. It's now the most successful IPO on NASDAQ for 2014, and it's responsible for more than 400 employments in high-tech positions in Israel around cyber. So I think there is room to create very significant companies out of Israel, and that's what we're trying to do.
And so you are saying that the evolution is going more in that direction. These are more mature companies at the time that they exit.
So it's always a very big dilemma, right? Because you have a company that you just created and suddenly it gets a very interesting price tag from a multinational that comes and wants to purchase that company. You need to have a lot of confidence in what you do, a lot of patience to actually take the company beyond that phase and actually get it to revenue and scale and take it public and make it independent company.
Well, thank you so much for your insight on this, Gadi Tirosh. We do appreciate it.
Thank you.